today I'm here to teach you about a haircut and color that I did on my model Heather. This is my model Heather. Heather has not had her hair colored in about a year and has outgrown bleach highlights. My goal for Heather's hair is to color every strand of hair all over her head to give her a really natural, soft look with a lot of depth and dimension. I started Heather's hair color by applying her root color first. I did a 7N10 volume and I did her roots, and then the reason I did that was to keep everything really soft and natural looking. After I applied Heather's roots, I sectioned her hair. The top section I did from her recession area, and then I arched back to just below the area of where the point of distribution is going to be. And I did that on both sides, and then I connected the two arches in the back. Again, making sure that the point of distribution was included in that top section. After I did that, I sectioned the bottom of her hair. I came just behind her ears and then just gently arched up, scooping down and back up again, ending on the other side. I did it just coming up to create a really soft look and so that there would be no harsh lines that you could see where the color like started or stopped. At that point, I applied the color to her underneath and I kept that solid. So I used the 7N10 volume from Scalp to Ends on that. Next, I applied the color in the center of her head. This was done with all foils. As you can see here, I'm also going to use this mannequin head just to show you exactly like how it was placed. I worked off of her hairline, so it was on a slight diagonal, and then just working all the way back to the center of her head. And then again, I did that on the following side, coming back to meet in the center of the head. So all the color in between the top and the bottom sections was done in foils, and then I followed a very strict pattern in that. I started with the 7N10 volume, the color that I used on her roots and her underneath, and then that was the first foil. The second foil was 8B, 8NP with 10 volume, and then the third foil was 11A, 30 volume, and I did that in that order all the way around to the back. I wanted to keep it within the blonde families because she's used to being light. She wanted to stay light but just give her a lot of depth and dimension. After I did the hair color in the center of her head, I did the hair color on the top. So all we had left was the mohawk section at this point, and I worked from the back of her head and then just worked all the way forward to the front. This I didn't do in an order. I didn't want it to look stripy, so I just varied which colors I used, still using those same three colors. Some of the foils I did color melting, so I pulled the 7N down a little bit further and did the 11A 30 volume on the ends. Some were just a slice of a highlight, like the 8B, 8NP, and then some I did some very fine weaves of the highlights, and then I used the 7N on the hair that was remaining out. This is a final picture of the color when it was on and it was processing. Next, I'm going to talk about what I did for Heather's haircut. Heather's haircut, the perimeter I just cut rounded from the back coming to the front, which created the front to be just a little bit shorter, which opened up around her face. Then the layers in the back, I did a convex layer, a long convex layer, just holding it out. Every section I walked back to the previous section to keep a little bit of the weight, but yet I wanted to remove some of the movement and I wanted to remove some of the texture and create like a lot of movement in her hair. She doesn't like to spend a lot of time styling her hair, so I wanted like some of her natural texture to show. The front from the back of the ear forward, I did vertical sections, directing them back to the round of the head and just followed that same convex layer. Around her face, I directed everything forward and kind of extreme just to remove a lot of that weight so it was nice and light and airy when the hair fell down. And then her fringe area, I over directed to the opposite side and up so that again would fall the opposite way and stay out of her face, but yet keep like a long swoopy bang. And this is Heather's final look. That's the front view, and then we have two side views. where you can see a lot of the highlights that are underneath the hair and how it gives lots of dimension. And then there is a back view. Thank you for learning with me today.